Hello Scorpio, welcome to this reading. We're going to be taking a look at the energies and predictions for the sign of Scorpio for the rest of September. Now, do keep in mind that this is a general reading, so take the messages as they resonate, drop the ones that do not, and also check out your sun, moon, and rising signs. All right, Scorpio, let's go ahead and get into this reading here for you. See what's coming forward for you as we take a look at the rest of September. Do hope you've been doing well. Do hope the month is treating you well so far. And do apologize for the lapse in content. I was actually in Japan filming for my other channel. So we'll go ahead and get all of the cards out here, get everything set up and in view, and then we'll get right into it for you. All right. All right, I think that's looking just about good enough to meet. Energy on the bottom, you have the Nine of Wands. All right, so the Nine of Wands has been coming in for so many people in this series of readings that I'm doing. I'm just about towards the end of doing all of the signs. And, you know, the Nine of Wands, the way that I've been looking at it is, you know, this is sort of like you're in the trenches when you get the Nine of Wands. You're so close to finishing something, but you're not there yet. Okay, you have to dig in and complete the task, right? And the way that you could look at it is like with the Nine of Wands, things are getting hard, right? Things are getting a little hard. And there's value in that, okay? It's during that time when you're in the trenches, when things are getting harder, that you're really, really progressing. And you're really making a lot of headway on skill development, experiences, so forth and so on. And so when you get this card right now, like this is not a time to give up. This is not a time to throw away everything that you've done up to this point, okay? It's time to dig in. And I do think for you, things are getting harder. I think for some people, for people right now in the collective, things are getting a bit hard, okay? Now we are in the middle here of this eclipse season. And, you know, just got to be careful of what I say here, but collectively, a lot of things are going on, okay? And I think, you know, during eclipses, these are challenging times, okay? Just in the sheer sense that it can bring about shocking events and like in your personal life and also collectively. And I think this is also part of the reason why everyone's getting the Nine of Wands. But anyway, yeah, I think that there is definitely a challenge to surmount here. There's a hurdle to jump over here for you. And let's just dive in. You actually have some really good cards here as well. But right away in the middle, you do have the Tower, Scorpio. So the Tower is shock and awe, okay? It is upheaval. It is a card that may bring about a realization, an important realization through maybe a challenge or a shock or shock to the system. The realization that comes along with the Tower is typically the realization that there's a false belief that you have. You may even be living within a false belief. There's something that is not actually the true path for you, right? And that's actually very good. It's good for that exposure of a false belief to happen because it means that you can get off the wrong path and you can get on the right one. So it's actually a blessing. The Tower is actually a blessing. In fact, this person was previously trapped in the Tower. Okay, coming to grips with and processing and handling the realization is maybe the challenging part of the Tower. Okay, and so I think that you are definitely being tested here. Okay, there's a test from the universe here with the Nine of Wands and the Tower. But, you know, you are capable and able to handle this. And it's kind of like how you rebound from here. Let's take a look at the first column. You have the World, the Chariot, and the Four of Swords. So the Tower and the World, that's an interesting combination. The World is a very, very positive card. It says that you are kind of like at a culmination point. You're at the peak. You're at the peak of the mountain. And with that, you have something to celebrate, right? You've attained a victory. You've attained success with the world. And yes, it can mean that a chapter is closing, but you're comfortable and you're even maybe happy, and you're satisfied with the chapter closing. And so I do think that some of you here have, or you're about to attain the culmination of something, or to reach a culmination point. Let's see how that plays in and see what that's about. But you absolutely have some success and victory here, not just with the world, but with the Chariot as well. Another card that's coming in for so many people, as you have the Chariot here. The Chariot is about victory and success. It can say that there's a win stacking up in your life. But more importantly, the Chariot may say that you're on this path or this road to victory. If you think about the Chariot, it's associated with vehicles. The Chariot is a vehicle. And it's about like getting in your vehicle and driving down the successful road, or the victory path, or the victory road. That's the idea of the Chariot, okay? It's also as above, so below. The energy you put out there is reflected back to you, you know? The actions and the energy and the words that you throw out there are really very important. And along with that, you have this Four of Swords. Some of you may have felt like you've needed to rest and recover from something, okay? There may have been like a challenge or a heartbreaking situation or something along those lines that may have happened, and you've maybe been given an opportunity to rest and heal from that. I also think that some of you have been putting in a lot of work here, and maybe you're even at this point here, Scorpio, where with the Knight of Wands, you're like, when is this going to end? You know, when am I going to be released from all of this work, from this mountain of this pile of work that I have, or whatever the case may be? Some of you are absolutely and truly being tested, and I think that with this World Chariot combination, the test is very important because the result is pretty big, okay? You're getting a great result here, provided that you can push through something. You know, and it's like, man, the phrase is kind of like escaping me, but I'll just say it this way, like, good things take time, right? Like we often have to work very hard for big things. And, you know, it doesn't always come easy. And that's what I feel like this reading in some respects and in some ways is about for you at this time, Scorpio. But there's no doubt you're in the trenches right now, you know. But at the same time, you see the path. You see the right path here with the Chariot, right? You know what kind of road or path is leading you to the success that you want to have, or even perhaps the completion, the outcome that you want with the world. Okay? And it is even certain. The world, it suggests certainty, right? And so, like, you know that if you continue forward, it's on the way. In the middle, you have the Nine of Swords, the Tower, and the Knight of Swords. Again, there may have been a real exposure of something that felt wrong, or that was maybe not felt wrong, but there may have been a real exposure of something that basically you had to see, right? Some of you may have been faced with this realization that you can't continue on a certain path, and in fact, there's a different path that I need to go on. And that could be why the Tower is here with the Chariot. Broadly, the Tower may just suggest that you're surprised about something, which doesn't always need to be bad. Okay? Pleasant surprises are a real thing too, right? You could be shocked in a good way. That can also happen. But intuitively, I feel like there was a realization that the way that you can't continue on the way that you're going at this time, and that you are sort of course correcting. With the Knight of Swords, you know, the Knight of Swords, it does indicate potential stress and anxiety, maybe even fear that may be happening. And the Knight of Swords, you know, this person is sort of like in the middle of a nightmare. You know, they are worried that something is going to happen. In fact, if you look at the symbolism on the card, the Nine of Swords may suggest that they're worried that these 9 swords are going to fall and hit them or go into them, but it actually hasn't happened yet. So it can talk about like storytelling, like, or fear casting, right? Making a mountain out of a molehill may even be another way of phrasing that when you get the Nine of Swords. Some of you like fear this tower moment, maybe before it has even happened or before it happened. With that, the Knight of Swords is an interesting card in this case because it can suggest that perhaps some of you were, you took a impulsive action, or you made an impulsive decision, or you took quick action on something, and you now find yourself in this like tower moment here, right? Sometimes the Knight of Swords may ask you to take your foot off the gas pedal depending on the context. In this column, it would be a take the foot off the gas pedal context because you've got this tower, right? And you've got this Nine of Swords. So I think that some of you may even be coming to like conclusions on something. I actually don't think it's as bad as maybe it feels at this time, because if we look at the first column and the third column, this middle column is the challenge, but to the left and to the right, things are good, right? So like core focus here is maybe like catastrophizing something, you know? But in reality, I think things are going to end up being okay. Let's see what is in the final column. You have the Five of Cups, the Knight of Pentacles, and the Seven of Pentacles here. With the Five of Cups, you know, emotionally this may be a little bit challenging. This person's down. Kind of they're feeling a little heartbroken, downtrodden. And, you know, I think that's like a reasonable feeling when you have something like a tower and a Nine of Swords in a reading. So I really want to get some details on this, but I would really urge the people watching this, if this is resonating with you, this is absolutely like there's a path out of this, okay? It may mean that you've needed to reroute, but through the rerouting of yourself, of your situation, is where the gold is, right? Because you're finding that you're learning something, and you're also experiencing the right and true path for you at the same time. So this is what I feel like. You then here have the Knight of Pentacles, which is, you know, this is a card of profit even. This is a card of hard work. This is a card of reward. You know, the Knight of Pentacles says that there's a result that you've been working for that could be on the way. Okay, this is a card of results, more important than anything, and hard work. So again, this idea of you being very close in the trenches, working hard, not giving up, this is very strong, and the rewards and the outcome for that are very good, okay, with the Knight of Pentacles and the World. And I think that you've been in this scenario, like this thing that you're working for, the result that you're looking for, this is something you've been in for a while, as you have the Seven of Pentacles. Seven of Pentacles can mean that you've spent a long time on something, you know? This does refer to your long-range money, retirement accounts, real estate, anything that you're like, or even a long career you've been in, anything that you've diligently worked for can show up with the Seven of Pentacles. So why don't we go ahead and let's take a look at the Oracle cards here, Scorpio. Let's take a look at what is coming forward for you in the Oracle messages. And then we'll also, let's just move into the clarifications portion right now. So Oracle first, and then we'll also get into the tarot cards for you. All right, let's see what we have. So, let's see here. Okay. Energy on the bottom. You have Direction Guardian. Here we go. Choose your path. I've been talking about this idea of a path in this entire reading. I think there's a reroute. Some of you are rerouting, okay? And that's very important. Again, there's gold in the rerouting here. Let's see what else we have. Excuse me. You have Mother Earth, feel loved and comforted. You have Guardian Angel, you are not alone. And then also Stargazer, set your sights higher. Set your sights higher. Okay, so maybe some of you were playing small for a little bit, and you realized, wait, no. Why am I doing that, right? Tower, false. There's like a false belief here. Actually, I can go way bigger. I can go bigger. I can go bold. Okay? And let's see what else we have before I continue with this. You have Hunter, track down your fears and desires. Star Ancestor, follow the voice of your soul. I like that. And then Summer, bask in joy and light. As I look at this like Star Ancestor, Stargazer combination here, you know, what I feel like is you're kind of on your true north. Okay, you're pointing towards true north now. Okay, you weren't previously, it feels like. Okay, and maybe there's just something needed to happen for you to understand that. But you're pointing towards true north now. And I think you're going to feel very good about that. Yeah. Let's go ahead and let's move into the tarot clarifications here, Scorpio. Now, as always, I do appreciate you being here. Thank you so much for spending your time with me, and I do hope things are going well for you once again. All right. Let's go ahead and see what we have in the to clarify these tarot cards. So you have Ace of Wands, Knight of Pentacles, and Queen of Pentacles. I like this. Ace of Wands, Knight of Pentacles, and the Queen of Pentacles. Ace of Wands, you know, one of my favorites in a tarot reading. It's really the spark that we all love to experience when we start something new or we begin something. And not only just anything random. The Ace of Wands is starting something that you are truly excited about. It's something that you feel the fire as you want to start this thing. It's ignition. That's what the Ace of Wands is. You've all, I'm sure, at some point in your life, no matter where you are, you have felt that ignition. You know, you felt that spark. You have felt that true feeling of excitement in starting something new. That's what the Ace of Wands is all about. It's a great card for starting a business. It really is. Starting a side hustle. Something along those lines. Or just something that you're passionate about, generally. So you definitely like to see this here. To me, this is why you're pushing hard to reroute and to complete with the Nine of Wands and the Tower as you think about this path, this true north. Maybe the Ace of Wands is your true north showing up here in the reading. Maybe. The Knight of Pentacles is showing up again with the Chariot this time. So we have the Knight of Pentacles over here. I think I'm talking to hardworking people. I think you're ready to put in the energy and the effort required to get on this true north path. And some of you may even have, there may even be like money available, maybe through like retirement or investment accounts or through lending, through profiting off of something, maybe through a new job, something along these lines. I think that there is some type of like money available here for you to make this dream a reality, okay, with the Ace of Wands and the Knight of Pentacles and whatever capacity that looks like for you, especially with that Queen of Pentacles. The Queen of Pentacles may be somebody who's like a loan officer or a lender, a financial advisor, an accountant. This card may show up as someone like that in life. It may also just suggest that you are quite skilled at handling and managing finances as well. This can also just more broadly be somebody who gives you really solid, trustworthy advice. So, yeah. Let's see there was a phrase that came into my mind. I guess I will say this. There's power in silence. Okay, I don't know. That just came out of nowhere. There's power in silence. I don't know. Some of you may connect to that in some way. There may be a message there for someone in this video that you're watching. And I think partially why that came in is the Four of Swords person is enjoying silence, right? And cutting out noise and taking a rest and a break from everything. Let me think about that a little bit more. But you have the Hermit, you have the Ten of Wands, and you have the Three of Swords. Hermit, Ten of Wands, Three of Swords. Okay, something happened very quickly here. Yeah, and it's sort of like you're picking up the pieces in a certain way. With the Knight of Swords and the Tower, there's speed associated with that, okay? And the Three of Swords is sort of like, this has led to some separation in your life, okay? This doesn't have to be a relationship. Broad separation that may have occurred because of some quick action that happened, or so there's like an element of speed here that took place. Yeah. But I think that there's like a level of recovery that's available, or that you've already experienced, maybe, I think. Because now it feels like the spark here is the spark is around you. It's available. You're lighting it with the Ace of Wands. With the Ten of Wands, this is a burden, you know, that you've been carrying. And I think if nothing else, the releasing of that is going on. You have the Hermit. The Hermit is really about, interestingly enough, that's another card of silence in a certain way. And what I mean by that is, like, this person prefers to be isolated, right? This person prefers to be on their own, or at least for a period of time, spend time on their own. And it's in pursuit of like knowledge or discovery or wisdom. And I think this is a big thing for you here. I do think some of you have been on your own for a bit here, or there's been a period of like cutting out the noise, maybe needing space for yourself. Nines are typically about you. I also think that you are really gaining a lot of wisdom through this experience. You have the Page of Wands, you have the Star, and amazing, you have the Queen of Wands here. Page of Wands, Star, Queen of Wands. So the Page of Wands, it does represent a job opportunity or offer in the tarot. It's definitely the card I like to see for job offers or opportunities. But with the Page of Wands and the Ace of Wands, I see that there's something in your career here that may be stacking up, or just this new excitement. If you're not like of working age or whatever, like this new excitement is present and available in your life, for sure, with the Ace of Wands and the Page of Wands. The Star represents a long-term or a big wish or goal or dream that you've had for yourself. And I believe this is with the, Knight of Wands here, Knight of Pentacles here, which I think that there is a result that's coming in here for you. Okay, I've already said that the Knight of Pentacles is a big results card, and the Star is receiving that. Now, another thing that is here is the Tower is the card that comes before the Star. So it goes Tower and then Star. Tower is upheaval and shock. I've already talked about it. And the Star is healing from that. Okay? It's tranquility and, excuse me, recovery from that situation. So, yeah. You then here have the Queen of Wands, which is, sorry, I had to clear my throat there. You then have the Queen of Wands, which is also about having courage and confidence. And in addition, the Queen of Wands is about the fact that some of you may be very busy at this time. I see this card come up often when people's schedules are full. But it is about confidence in yourself. And especially as you have this Seven of Wands, you know, confidence in yourself to sort of reroute. Remember, there is gold in this rerouting that you are doing from the path that wasn't really your true north to your true north path. That is something that I really want you to take away from this reading. On the bottom, you have the Four of Cups, boredom and apathy. Let go of that energy, okay? Let go of that energy. Do not miss out on the opportunities in front of you like this person is doing, okay? Because they're in abundance here with the Ace and the Page of Wands. Let's see what else we have. Let's take a look at the Kipper cards here. And we'll take a look at what's coming forward in those messages. All right. Okay. You have change, official person, occupation, coffin, great fortune, wow, and imprisonment. Imprisonment. Well, you're definitely released from whatever it is that you're trapped in at this time, with imprisonment, Tower, for sure. And I definitely see that there is an ending here, for sure, with the Tower and the World, which you see again with the Coffin card. Okay, so this feels like a blessing in disguise for you here, Scorpio. And I would also suggest with this great fortune and occupation, I think I see that some of you are going self-employed, or you're doing something that you've always wanted to do. And there's a lot of gold in this. So this is what I have for you, Scorpio. Thank you so much for being here. If you enjoyed this, hit the like button, subscribe, and I'll most certainly be talking to you again soon.